Hey everybody, Portly Paladin back here again, doing another car video on my way to work. Yesterday was a really hectic day, and I feel like I say that almost every week about my Wednesdays, but considering that I pretty much leave for work at 8:30 in the morning and get home from work at 9 o'clock at night every other day of the week, I have pretty much no time to do anything during the week except on my day off. So I try to get as much stuff done on my day off as possible, just so I can get things done for the week. My Wednesdays are always really, really hectic. Yesterday's was even more so because yesterday was the 14th anniversary of my wife and I's first date. That was pretty cool. Decided that I was going to do something really nice, even though it was just the 14th anniversary and not one of the big ones like the 15th or 10th or something. I just really wanted to do something nice. So first thing I did yesterday morning was I got up nice and early, saw her off to work. After she went to work, I went to the local sort of awesome grocery store. If you're familiar with the Cincinnati area at all, then you pretty much know what Jungle Jim's is. If you're not familiar with the Cincinnati area, then you may not understand the awesome that is Jungle Jim's. Jungle Jim's is this massive grocery store that not only has your standard everyday groceries that your grocery store has, but it also has impeccably awesome produce. The best produce of any store I've ever been in my entire life. Even better than most of the farmers markets around this area. I mean, it is amazingly good produce. I mean, everything is top-notch, best fresh produce, best, quality. Everything is from as close to local as you can get it. It's an amazing story, really. The proprietor, whose name is Jim, I cannot remember his last name. It starts with a B. It's like Bonamassa or something. He started out owning a produce cart in downtown Cincinnati many, many, many years ago, and had developed that into what was this amazing attraction. And yeah, I say it's attraction, it really was. Tour buses would actually, they probably still do, go to his store that's in the Fairfield, Ohio area. And they would do tours of the place, and my friends and I would go up there quite often. And when we would go, we'd spend 2-3 hours in the store just walking around, looking at all of the cool imported stuff, and all the other items that you couldn't really find anywhere else. And then they decided to build a second store, which just happened to be in my neck of the woods in the Eastgate, Ohio area, which is, roughly maybe 5 minutes from my house. I just had that face there because I almost ran over a rake that was in the middle of the highway. Not really sure why that was there, but yeah. So anyway, they put a store in my area, and as I was just saying, one of the things that they're kind of known for on top of their produce is that they do have imported foods. They have things from pretty much everywhere in the world. If you are not from this area, not from the United States, and you came to us from a different country, chances are you can find a lot of the things you used to buy at home at Jungle Jim's. If it's possible for him to get his hands on it, this guy has it in his store. It's pretty awesome as a store. It really is. So I went there. They're known for having top-notch meat as well as produce. They have their own really nice bakery, all these great things. So I went there because I decided I wanted to make a really good meal last night for my wife and I. So that's exactly what I did. I picked up a couple of steaks. I know they're not exactly the best thing for the diet, but it was a good special occasion, so I figured it was worth it. And then I got some fresh mushrooms, some really great mushrooms, some onions, and then I got a loaf of like sourdough bread. So that's what I made yesterday for our dinner with a salad on the side. And it was really good. So I bought all that stuff. I ran a few other errands yesterday, picking up other essentials for the whole little date night experience. I got candles, so we could have like a candlelight dinner. And then when I got home, I kind of cleaned the house. I did some laundry, got everything sort of picked up. And then when it was about time for my wife to get home, I started prepping everything so that within 15 minutes of the time she got home, we were ready to eat. We sat down, lit some candles, gave her a card, and reminded her of all the things that I love about her, all the things that makes me smile when I'm around her, and how much I've enjoyed the past 14 years, and how much I want that to go on for many, many, many more years. But because I did all those things yesterday, you know, as I said, my day was pretty hectic. Amongst the things that I did yesterday, I also went to the doctor. Just needed to get a checkup. It wasn't anything spectacular, nothing major that made me go to the doctor. Just that I needed a checkup, needed some refills for my blood pressure medications, that sort of thing. And since I had a chance to be there with him, I decided to talk to him a bit more about my weight loss and go over some options with that. So, just to move this for a second here, make things a little bit easier on me. So I kind of told him about how I've been having troubles lately with the yo-yo up and down roller coaster sort of method that I've been dealing with lately. I discussed with him my water retention issues and how I feel like I've kind of stagnated, that I've done everything I think I can do at this point to lose weight. Exercising is very difficult. About the only thing I can really do is walk. And I get really tired really quickly, so I can't really put in a whole ton of time with that. Maybe half an hour at the most when I do it, and even that half hour, incurs several rests in there. And he pretty much said that he feels that I really need to give serious consideration to weight loss surgery, and I don't really want to do that. I think I might have talked about it on here before, but for me, weight loss surgery, I mean, I know for some people it's a must, but for me, it feels like a cop-out right now with this. I mean, I really feel like I can do this without resorting to that. I just feel at this point I need some help. I need something else to kind of give me the edge right now, to keep me moving forward. And I mean, I've been doing this for over 2 years, and I have yet to get below 475. That's been like my cap. That's my wall right now that I can't break past. As soon as I get to 475, I pop right back up again. I gain 10, 15 pounds or whatever, and then I have to start all over. It seems like my body can't manage to bust past that mark. So I just basically told him, I was like, I need some help. I told him that I remembered at one point when I had talked to him about this a couple of years back that he had mentioned that there were some medications that he could possibly prescribe. So I asked him about those, and he said, well, the medications that I talked about back then were mostly, mostly illegal now, or that wasn't the word he used, but they're not considered safe anymore. I don't know which ones in particular he's talking about, but maybe like the fen and all that other stuff that had been going on there for a while. He said, it's just not really a good option. That's not really an option anymore to do those medications. So we talked some more, and I said, well, I don't really want to do the surgery. It's not that I'm afraid that I'm not going to make it through the surgery, although at my size, I do have some concerns. It's not that I feel like I'm going to be one of those patients that is constantly having troubles and being sick and whatnot because the surgery didn't go well for them. I'm not afraid of that. It's not even that. I mean, there are two big issues. One is the feeling that I don't think I'll ever get over, feeling like I took the easy way out. And the second big issue is that every person I've ever spoken with that's had gastric bypass surgery, their lives have drastically changed, and not always for the better. For example, there are times when you eat that if you don't chew it enough, or you eat a little too fat quickly, or you eat foods that are a little too greasy, or a little too sugary, or a little too whatever, then they come back up. I don't want to have to deal with that. Like, to be in public somewhere, having a meal, or being at work, eating lunch, whatever it is, I don't want to have to be there and worry that whatever I'm going to eat, I'm going to have to then spit back up into the garbage can or something. That's just gross, and I don't want to deal with that in any way. I also know people who, once they've had the surgery, there are certain foods that they pretty much can never eat again. Like spicy foods. I like spicy foods. I do. I enjoy. I don't like them so much that they just burn your mouth out. But, I like a nice spicy chili. I like Mexican food that's, so hot it kind of gives you that tingle and burn in your mouth. I really enjoy those. And if I were to get gastric bypass, I could never eat that again. Indian food, curries and things, I would never be able to eat those. A lot of Thai food and things, not be able to eat that. And that, to me, is a tremendous drawback. I know it sounds ridiculous to say, oh, well, I could be healthy and be thinner and comfortable with my body, but I could never eat these foods again. That sounds almost like a stupid condition, but it's not a stupid condition to me. And this one also kind of sounds stupid to some people, but if I were to get something like that, I would never be able to enjoy another, family meal, or meal with friends over, or a celebration, or Thanksgiving or something. Those times when you sit down and you have a larger meal than normal because it's a celebration and you have people over, or you're there with family, or whatever it is, I would never be able to do that again, because I could only eat, a small portion of food, or else I'm, regurgitating it back up and having to spit it out into some sort of garbage can again. That feels like torture to me. That feels like I just really feel like I would hate life if that were the case. And I do not want to be miserable anymore. I mean, I'm trading off being miserable as a fat person to being miserable as a thin person, just miserable in different ways. And my whole point here is I'm tired of being miserable, and I don't want to trade one miserable situation for a different one. That just doesn't seem like a smart idea to me. It seems kind of stupid. So I just don't really want to do that. So basically, he informed me that there is a local hospital here in our area, a Jewish hospital, that specializes in bariatric patients, and they specialize in different levels of bariatric care. They have meetings where you can basically meet, go with a bunch of people, and there are specialists that will talk about the different plans and options that are available, give you ideas of what you can do, things like that. And then you can actually sit down with a specialist who will kind of get to know you and the things that you're trying already, the kind of commitment you're willing to put in, and then tailor kind of a program for you so that it works for you. And that sounds amazingly perfect for me. So right now, unfortunately, the money situation is such that don't have the extra funds to afford to do that. I need to look into my insurance a bit better and see if it would be covered under my insurance to do something like that. And I mean, if it's not, that doesn't necessarily cut it out at all. I'm still probably going to do it. I'm going to need to figure something out in terms of money, so I know what I can do to try to make that happen. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I stand right now. My blood pressure was a little elevated yesterday, not horrible. The doctor wasn't concerned. He just sort of asked me if it's normally like that. And I do check my blood pressure on a semi-regular basis. And I said, no, it's not normally like that. It was 135 over like 82 or something. I said, no, normally it's right around like 125 over 75. And so he was fine with that. In terms of the water retention issue, he pretty much just told me to keep drinking water. It's really the only recommendation he made there. He said, I'm kind of maxed out on any sort of diuretic that he could offer in terms of a dose. So he really thinks that if I keep drinking water as much as possible, flushing my system, that's going to help the weight. If I go to one of these meetings and start getting on a program, then I'm probably going to start dropping weight pretty quickly. And he really feels, he told me that he thinks that if I even lost 50 pounds, that he would cut my medication probably in half, based on where my blood pressure is right now. I've done a lot of work on that. I've cut a lot of my salt intake. I've cut a lot of other things in my diet that would contribute to a high blood pressure. I've added a lot of garlic to my diet. We go through about 2 heads of garlic a week probably in my house. We use a ton of garlic, and that's great for thinning your blood and dropping your blood pressure naturally. So that all of these things combined with the medication has my blood pressure at a nominal level. So he thinks that dropping even 50 pounds will mean that he can cut my blood pressure medication, by about half. So that'll be good. And then he thinks, at some point soon after that, he could probably just cut it out entirely. He pretty much said that at this point he feels that the only thing contributing to my high blood pressure is my weight. I've taken all the steps from a nutrition and dietary standpoint that's the only thing that's left is just my weight that's causing the high blood pressure. The last time I did some blood work, he pulled my sugars, and I'm still not diabetic. It's something he's been keeping a pretty close eye on. He said that I'm not really even borderline. I'm getting close to getting borderline, but that's again something that I can control with diet. It's coming back actually. At one point I was borderline when I was still drinking soda, and since I stopped drinking soda for about the last 3 years, it's slowly been sort of coming back a bit from where it was. I think part of it is still some of the carbs and things that I eat. But yeah, so things are looking good. That was the overall feeling that I left with when I left my doctor yesterday, is that he feels that I'm fairly healthy as a fat person can be. Oh, yeah, speaking of that, well, nice place to put it all the way at the end of the video, right? I didn't lose any weight again this week. So I guess that's a positive. That's 2 weeks in a row that I didn't gain. So hopefully that's good. Alright, well, I am at work now. So I am going to park and head on in. And I will hopefully remember to upload this video tonight, so you guys don't have to go too much longer with the video. I apologize again that it's late, but yesterday was a hectic day in a good way. Alright, so until next time, keep waging a war against your waistline. I am your Portly Paladin. Have a good one.